Hi Scorpio, this is Kay. You're on the Collective Soul Tarot channel. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to your reading. Let's begin. Let's find out what Archangel Michael wants you to know today, Scorpio. And please like and subscribe. I hope you're doing well. And let's get started. Growth. Card number 5. Definitely change, right? Invest in yourself and make necessary changes within your external environment to help you grow. So you're in external environment. Interesting. Invest in yourself and make necessary changes within your external environment to help you grow. So to me, that tells me that you need to maybe consider the people you're spending a lot of time with. Yeah, that monopolize your time and energy. You may be feeling like you need to reach beyond that friend group or family group that you spend maybe an inordinate amount of time with. Co-workers and all that. The Empress. Yeah, because you got some growing to do. Look at that beautiful hairdo she's got. And it's all about divine timing and growth, right? Because the tree is growing there. That's part of her whole hairdo. Yeah. There's a lot of growth that wants to happen or is happening right now in your life, Scorpio. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, let's get some clarification for the Empress energy. This one? No, we got them 3. We got 3. Okay, I grabbed 3. So we're doing 3. Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands, and the 3 of Cups. Cool. Yeah. Well, how am I going to do this now? Just all like this. Wheel of Fortune, or Knight of Wands. Okay, Knight of Wands, so far in the story I can see is just being somebody who is needing to go from living the single life to being more responsible. Single and, going out and having fun. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having fun, not for sure. But perhaps the people that you're having fun with is the kind of growth, or is the kind of environment and the places you might go, quite frequently with this friend group or co-workers, which would be friends too, that needs to change. A letter. Card number 27, that's 9, and this is the 2, 4, 6, 7 of spades, which is the 7 of swords. That's very interesting because I just finished doing the Libra reading and I used a different deck and the same card came out. With it being 27, which is 9, something's ending. Some information came through, like a letter, email or something. Someone told you something, or someone told you, a friend of a friend told you something about a friend. But the 7 of swords, we know what that energy is. And until I know otherwise, I would say this is not the altruistic energy that we sometimes talk about with the 7 of swords. And if you listen to my readings, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if I need to explain it, I will. Okay. Let's find out what the divine is talking about here. Is this work? Is this friendship? Is this you in the place that you live? Could very well just be the place that you live. Maybe you live in a place that is not necessarily safe for you anymore, if it ever was. Because people who have to struggle with, this is the 5 of Wands, by the way, inner conflict and conflict with others, and arguments and chaos. If you have to struggle with, if anyone has to struggle with their basic needs, right? If they need to have enough money or resources to be able to put the clothes on their back, the food in their stomachs, and the roof over their head, and have a bed to sleep in, because it's very important to get sleep and good sleep. They don't have the time or energy, and possibly not even the mental wherewithal, the consciousness to want to focus on growing, growing spiritually. to looking within. But that, that's like the perfect time to do that. However, it's just trying to just survive from one day to the next consumes a person's energy, their mental, the emotional, and their physical energy. What's left to be able to focus on actually looking within and seeing how God has been protecting them and still wants to pull them forward in their life, bring them forward in their life so that they can achieve enough success to feel like they are growing and things are getting better, right? So if you are in a place where you might be living in a place where there's a whole lot of, chaos and conflict, you just have to sit in your apartment or your house and you can hear people arguing outside. Maybe it's a place where there's a lot of drug trafficking going on. Maybe, Scorpio. Just like, or there's, it's a high crime area of town or neighborhood. It's just maybe there's people that like to go around breaking into people's houses and harming people. Maybe that's going on too. Or just you have to have bars on your windows because the people in your neighborhood or, neighboring neighborhoods would very much like to come in, break into your house and steal whatever it is you got. And you may not feel, even your car, you may not even be sure that your car is ever going to have its 4 tires on it when you come out in the morning. Or maybe it's broken into and, the things that you have in your car are stolen from you. Or your car is stolen. Yeah. So it could be anything. Maybe it's a place that maybe where you live and where you work are kind of it's not a secure, a safe place for you to be. Let's see, because there's a whole lot of, you're weirded out, you're scared, you're angry, you're feeling upset, you're unsure, which makes us feel angry and anxious, or you are in conflict with people. Like it may not just necessarily be other people being in conflict with each other that are around you in your environment, because remember, this is your external environment. It could be that you're actually arguing with somebody in your own home that maybe you have someone living with you, a relative, or you've got a kid that's come back home and they're 23 years old and they're not working, and you're trying to make ends meet. But you got this son or daughter who are eating you out of house and home, or just bringing their friends in and raiding the fridge and sleeping overnight and stuff like that. It's a contradictive type of time your environment is. It's just not type of environment where you can walk into your own home, kick your shoes off, sit down, grab something to eat, and feel like you're safe, and that no one's going to come around you and try to be chaotic or create chaos or say something really stupid or just make you upset, right? Anxious, stressed out because of what they're doing or what they haven't done. They might have all their shoes or dirty clothes laying around, or their mess from eating chips and drinking and pop cans and God only knows what. But you might come home to your house looking in disarray. After you left it in the morning, it was all organized and fairly neat and clean, right? Tidy. And you come home and it's a mess because kids come home from school. Your husband or wife might be coming home, and they're just not the type of people they're messy. They're just messy. So it's a messy life for you. It's disorganized possibly, it's chaotic possibly, it's stressful, it's anxiety provoking, it's just not conducive to you being able to grow into your big girl or boy shoes. Your spiritually evolved self, the Empress energy, which could be a man. Okay. We have the Star. There is a wish being granted though for you. Okay, 2 of Cups. with the Four of Cups. Okay, this is what you want to do. You see all these cups here, they're spilt over, and it's like a mess in your house. All you'd like to do is come in and lay back, put your hands up behind your head and say, oh, I had a day. I had quite a day, but I'm home, I can relax, I'm good. And then you look and you see how it's a mess, right? Four of Cups. It's a mess, but you're trying to chill. You're trying to chill anyways because, you know, you'll just get up and you'll sort it all out. Or you'll be telling your whoever that did it to sort it out, and if they don't, then you're not going to get your poop all, you know, wound up in a knot. You're just going to take care of it so that you can find a semblance of peace and organization before you put your head down on your pillow for the night. Yep, what am I doing here? Why am I doing that? Okay, Page of Wands. Six of Cups. The Sun. The Ten of Cups. Woohoo. The Seven of Cups. That's Cups, yep. Wow. And we got the Hangman. Yep. Having too many options can leave you feeling like you just can't make a move because you got too many options to make a choice. The Four of Pentacles. Valuing temperance. Now the near future. In the back of the deck we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Judgment card, the Ace of Pentacles, wonderful, the Knight of Pentacles, and your strength. Ooh, look at this, the Ace of Cups as well, and some information, some communication that's going to ask you to make a decision which way to go, that's going to have you sitting in the Nine of Cups energy. Okay, well, let's just put these here. Which one? Yeah, the Two of Wands and then the Eight of Cups. Eight of Wands, Two of Wands, and Eight of Cups. Isn't your near future energy? Okay. Wow. So Knight of Wands. You've been living life as a single person. I have to say, this is what this is, Scorpio. So if you're not a single person, right? But you've been living life as a single person. And the divine says it's time for you to wake up a little bit more. And you're probably feeling the urge that you want to wake up. You need to take, like it's like your environment is not conducive to you being able to say, hey, I could really spend some more time on myself, pampering me, self-care, self-love, learning to love myself, right? Self-care, trying to be a better version of who I am, who I really am, and you know, that I can actually, if I wanted to learn how to do yoga or learn how to meditate, even just spell a sit down and read, just read, quietly read without interruptions. Maybe your home environment is not conducive to that. If it's not that, it's just that your friends or family are constantly calling you or coming over, or they're all constantly asking you to come out, and you're expected to perform. And I was listening to a program, and I truly am aligned with it, is that when you have to go out and be on, you know, be performing, let's say, instead of being, as opposed to being able to be at home and being yourself, right? Mask is off at home, but when we go out, the mask goes on. This is for everybody. The mask goes on, but we're like, for a lot of times the mask, you know, is good. We're having a good time with everybody else is wearing their mask, and everybody seems to be having a great time. You go home saying, I had a great time. I'm glad I went out for that social event. I'm glad I did this, that, and the other thing with other people. I had to put on my my social mask to go out and be part of the social environment, right? That you put yourself in, asked to go to be part of. But when you come home, you can take it off, take your shoes off, like I said here, and relax. So you're here and relax, saying all is good. Even though all the mess is right there in front of me, I'm okay with that. I can deal with that. because maybe it was you that made that mess too. So, but when we're forced to wear a mask socially, it takes away that energy, because of that time and energy that you have in order for you to be at home or to isolate yourself in some way, so that you can be in the energy of your true self with the mask off. What happens is that oftentimes it comes to a time where we feel like we really don't want to wear that mask anymore. We don't want to wear the mask. You just want to go out as who you are, and who people are going to accept us anyways, right? Whether they, you know, with my mask off, they're going to accept me. See, he's got a mask on. This guy goes out, he's got a mask on. These dudes here, they got a mask on. Every single one of them's got a mask on. And then the Wheel of Fortune is like, they don't look so much like they have masks on, but there's a mask to some extreme, because this is like, the Wheel of Fortune is starting a new cycle that is going to have you probably still wearing your mask to some extent, but not to this extent here. Okay, because it'll be more of a great big blessing of prosperity and abundance, which is what the Ace of Pentacles is, and you got the Ace of Pentacles right there. So when you go out, the thing is, Scorpio, when you go out and you're starting to change your idea, maybe you're just a few years older, but you're still with the same crowds, doing the same stuff, and you're saying, you know what, I don't really feel like doing the same old with the same old all the time, every day, every night, every weekend, that kind of thing. And so when you go out, when you are to go out, you do agree to go out, or they force you to go out, you've got your mask on, and you're the whole time you're out there, you're wishing you could just rip your mask off and just be left alone and just go home, or just rip your mask off and be who you really are and say, hey, ta-da, this is who I am, really. How do you like me now? You know, it could be that you just want to, you're out per usual with the same, or you know, things a little bit different but the same, and you just don't, you just realize you're wearing a mask and you would really rather just take it off. So you might take it off and then, you know, show everybody and say, hey, this is who I am, how do you like me now? Or you might just take your mask off and you know, just kind of stand around and observe, as opposed to being engaged with other people who have got their masks on. But I don't think you'd want to do that for very long. It's kind of like you want to leave the party, you want to leave the whole social event, you want to leave the situation and just kind of make your way back home, where it's nice and quiet and it's your space, and you can rip your your mask's already off, or at least maybe you didn't rip your mask off, but you're going to be able to take your mask off. That's the idea. And then you're moving forward. You see, you're saying to the divine, I'm ready. I am ready to grow. I am ready to make those changes in my life, so that when I go out, when I mingle with others, I don't have to go from not wearing a mask to wearing a mask. I can just be who I really am out there. And if the friends that I have right now can't accept me without the mask on that I usually wear, because they're going to say, what's happened to you? What's wrong? You seem different these days. Are you mad at us? This, that, and the other thing. Who hurt you? You know, and you'd have to explain yourself and say, no, I just don't feel like I'm the same person anymore. I just don't feel like getting all, all amped up about doing this, going there, having this many drinks, getting drunk, getting laid, whatever. It's just not, I guess I'm getting older. I'm getting older and I just don't want it as much anymore. So yeah, you're trying to step into your Empress energy of nurturing yourself now. Because when you nurture yourself, you nurture the world. But who cares about the world right now? It's about nurturing yourself. And when you start nurturing yourself, you birth new worlds. You birth worlds that are like the wish fulfillment kind of worlds. That vortex I talk about in other readings. And that vortex, where did we have the wish fulfillment, right? Well, let's just go through this, okay? So you are in a not so, not a very, let's say, agreeable environment. Let's just say, okay? whether, you know, your environment can be your friends too. That's your external environment. But wherever you go, it may not be agreeable to you as much anymore. So there's inner conflict in you as well. Oh, here's the star. So you're feeling as though you need to align yourself with something more meaningful in your life. And it's going to be something that you fall in love with. Could be a person, okay? Person you fall in love with. But you're going to say, it's time. I take my mask off and be able to go out and relax and be who I truly am. I don't have to feel disappointed when I'm out in public anymore, out socially anymore, saying, you know what? I don't feel like being like this anymore. Just not me anymore. And why am I here? What am I doing here? I should just go home, right? You're gonna start questioning that. Is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna say, you know, spill over all these cups, because these cups don't suit me anymore. They're not who I am anymore. I'm changing. Growth, right? Number 5. Some kind of information came to you that said there's something sneaky, tricky about your environment, about who you're spending your time with, about what you're doing. It's just like, it's not conducive to having, you know, settling down roots that say, I'm settling to the degree that I am making myself a foundation of meaning and purpose in my life, as opposed to spending all of my money in the bar, you know, every weekend. That kind of thing. You're taking the bull by the horns, and you're going to be moving forward in a fair enough different way, in a change. It doesn't have to be a dramatic change, but it's going to be a different you moving forward. The good news is that this is what was meant for you. This is the past energy. You'd be looking at, nostalgically looking at your past and saying how life was so simple back then, but also realizing that this is something that is your destiny, because it's the wheel of fortune. It's part of growing. You know, you had people to care for you, to grow, right? Well, now you're going to be like this, caring for somebody, helping someone else grow. And that is like really exciting news to you, that if this is not a person, it's something like a project or whatever that you're going to be part of, that it's been your destiny to be a part of all along. With the Wheel of Fortune being a destiny card, and you're going to have a very large role in it as the Empress, like the main role, unless there's a person in the Emperor energy alongside you, or just slightly above you, who might be your boss or your manager or the chair of the board of directors. You're like the treasurer or something like that, and someone else is the chair. So, but if it's in a relationship, that you were once this, now you are these, like one of these, and you're going to raise somebody. You're going to be there to help nurture somebody else, because once you nurture yourself, you've got nothing but nurturing and birthing new worlds. Like you're abundant all over the place. Sun, happiness, enlightenment. You know, this is you growing, enlightenment. The sun helps us grow, and so you will be growing and really like flying high with these 2 horses on your chariot there. You're going pretty fast, but just enjoying yourself totally, immensely. With the 10 of Cups, it's like a happily ever after. It's your destiny. 10 of Cups is like family and stuff. So we're looking at this as ever since you were a child, this was where you were. This is the direction you've been meant to go, and this is significant for you. For you, Scorpio. It's significant for you. Now, this card doesn't come out every time we talk about someone growing, but this one here is like, this card's out here and it's telling us that it's something that you were meant to do since you were a child. All of us are meant to grow to some degree since we're a child, but you're being asked to level up, to like I said, it might not be a major change right at first, but it's leading to an actual overhaulment of you, for you to become so close to your best version of who you are in a rather, let's just say, relatively short period of time. Okay? Not a whole lifetime or 1,000 like the rest of us. Okay? So this is you, that's something it's destined, it's been destined for you. You've been partying up, having a good time as a single person, you know, you have a right to that. You have a right to that, but you're not a child, you're not a teenager, you're not a young, 20-year-old still in college anymore. Maybe you are, but you're going to be graduating. Okay, so soon. There'll be many opportunities for you that will maybe seem confusing to you, and it's kind of like you'll have the urge to just fantasize about it instead of actually doing something about it. Making a decision to go with something. Go with something. It could be, maybe there's going to be more than one suitor for you, and that you're going to have a time of it trying to choose which one you're going to be with. For the happily ever after. Hangman, like I said in the Libra reading, whenever you're in the hangman energy, it's God, because it's a major arcana. It's a major life thing going on with you, that God takes you and plunks you into a chair and says you're going to be an armchair astronaut for a little while until we give you the nod, until we're able to orchestrate that star wish fulfillment type of vortex or world, because remember, the Empress births new worlds, parallel. Yes, you are so close to aligning yourself with that wish fulfillment, that vortex, the world that says you find true love, you have happiness coming out your yin yang, and you are emotionally fulfilled with happily ever after. And you're going to be finding peace and serenity, mastering all that comes, all the energy that you have comes available to you psychically or, materially. Judgment, seeing that this is you answering the call, and here's the Ace of Pentacles, because the divine is offering you that great big blessing. And ta-ta, with the Wheel of Fortune, the Pentacle, ta-da, great big blessing of abundance and prosperity in every way. The Ace of Pentacles is also about relocation, it can be. Then you got the Knight of Pentacles. Somebody, this one here, is on your radar, and it's just a matter of you finding your strength, even if you have to move, take it slow. Take it slow, don't jump into it like a leapfrog. Don't jump into it, because you need to find your footing. In other words, you need to find your strength and courage by looking ego straight in the eye, which is the fierce one that could literally devour you, eat you, kill you. That's the ego. You gotta look at the ego straight in the eye and say, let's be friends instead. You can, a lot of us want to think that the ego is a bad thing. It's not. It's just a tool. It's a driver of your mind. It's a director. So either we allow fear to direct us, or we allow love to direct us. And so the ego is just something that's there to help protect us mortally, okay? To protect us mortally, but it sure will want to drive you crazy mentally and emotionally. It's all about doing that. And it gets to the point where it wants to, the things that it seems we're telling ourselves these things when we're running off of the energy of fear. We tell our things like ourselves like if I don't do this, if I don't grab this first, someone else is going to grab that, and then if they grab it, and they're going to look at me as a loser, and then I'm a loser because I didn't grab it when I had the chance to grab it. This is just crazy stuff. Then I had a chance to grab it. I'm going to feel like I'm no good for nothing, and that all I ever do is fail, and that I can't do anything, and I might as well just kill myself. It's stuff like that that really we can allow our minds to just go off on a rant about stuff like this when we feel like we let ourselves down, but we can't handle it, so we project it out and say we're the victim and they're the ones that caused us caused us to fail. They're the ones that caused us to fail. Because I can't believe that I caused myself to fail. So I need to project that out. Someone else is to blame, not me, right? Because if I believe it too much, I might want to, put an end to myself, right? Because if it gets to that point, the low depression, anxiety and depression, that leads us to suicidal thinking. Just so you know, it's just fair enough for you to know that stuff. So you have to find your strength and courage, which means you're going to need to take care of yourself, learn to love yourself with the Ace of Cups. Learn to love yourself, learn to take care of yourself, your number one priority, over and above anyone or anything else in your world, even your kids. Your number one priority, Scorpio. You take care of yourself, you can then be the best mother or father you can possibly be to your kids, because you got it in you now. Before, if you're trying to please them, trying to take care of them, make sure that everything they have is met first before you take care of you, then it's kind of like you are, you're running on empty, but you are actually sabotaging your relationship and your relationship with your kids. Eventually sabotage your relationship with your kids, because you're going to have resentment towards them, whether you speak it or not. You're going to have resentment towards them, saying, I did everything for you guys. You were always number one. I always took care of this, even above the, to the detriment of me taking care of myself first. There'd be resentment there. And even if that's never said or acted upon, it's still there. And that resentment will eat at you, and it'll make you feel anxious, stressed out, and depressed. And at some point, if your kids are not paying any attention to you, and they're not devoting their undying love to you, and saying, I'm so grateful to you, Mom or Dad, that you were all this for us and you didn't do anything for yourself. You put yourself last. I'm so grateful for you. If they don't come and say that to you or show you in some way, it's going to be like, that thought is like, why did I even bother? They're ungrateful little turds or something like that, and that'll work on your psyche as well. So it's so important to make yourself number one. When you can do that, you invite, you invite the external world to reshape itself around you. And then next thing you know, true love shows up at your doorstep. You start getting communication, having fast moving communication back and forth between the two of you. Helps you to decide to take, to no longer stand at a crossroads about whether or not you should or you shouldn't engage with, get into this, or should you stay single, or should you, get into a relationship, because you're going to make the choice to go in a direction that's going to be pleasing to you. 9 of Cups energy. You're built to indulge in some super duper well-being, emotional well-being, because it's leading you to the happily ever after life. Right there, 10 of Cups, the 9 to the 10. So I think the last card here is the 8 of Cups right there. The 8 of Cups and the 7 of Wands, that's about boundaries. And then the 6 of Pentacles, about fairness and balance, and the Knight of Wands, and so forth and so on. So yeah, you're definitely going to be, because you're going to get yourself out of, hanging on to certain beliefs or values of being a single person, moving forward to be growing into a more higher version of yourself, and you end up attracting someone who loves you dearly and deeply, loves you into your life. Now you got to consider whether or not you want to have a relationship with somebody. That's that 2 of Wands energy. Do I really want to have this in my life? And you might be saying, hell yeah, of course I do. So you're going to be having some communication because you're taking this seriously. Right here. The Wheel of Fortune. Your destiny. Wheel of Fortune. Great big blessings. Ace of Pentacles. That's a divine offering, right? Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Cups is another divine offering. A new start for you to learn to love yourself first, because you've got a whole life. You got a path opening up to you that's all about love. With the Ace of Cups, right? All about love. Well, let's put this guy back here. So you got a whole path opening up to you, a new beginning that is going to open up to conversation, passionate conversation. Isn't that what we do when we first meet somebody? And it's going to jog you out of your, hangman, standing at crossroads energy. Should I or shouldn't I engage in this? Yes, I'm going to, because I'm going to go skull with everybody. You know, the Vikings, they go skull. They raise their horn cups, right? Skull. And that's what you're doing. You're going to be indulging in that because it's a happily ever after story for you. I sure hope you enjoyed that. I really do. And I would love to hear from you as to whether or not you feel like this is happening to you now, and or how you just feel about this reading moving forward in your life, okay? Since you're sitting here watching it right now. So please like and subscribe. And that's what I got for you guys. It looks fantastic. So just grow, grow, grow. Bye for now.